This is the weekend edition of iFIBER One News, where we present some of the top stories from this week and your weekend weather forecast. I'm Alan Troop. Stay tuned for the weekend edition of iFIBER One News.
From the iFIBER One HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER One News, your number one source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER One News, and it starts now.
One of our top stories for this week was about the ongoing U.S. Air Force training at the Grant County International Airport. Reporter Devin Higgins has that story.
The skies around the Grant County International Airport have been clearing as spring continues, but by no means is it quiet. The flyboys of Joint Base Lewis McChord's 62nd Airlift Wing are here, and they've brought their big birds back with them. In the last 10 years, the Boeing C-17 Globemaster III has become one of the workhorses of the United States Air Force. Measuring at 174 feet long and sporting a wingspan of 170 feet, it succeeded the Lockheed C-141 Starlifter after it was retired in 2006. 4 Pratt & Whitney engines, each generating more than 40,000 pounds of thrust, give the C-17 a cruising speed of more than 500 miles an hour and lets it fly as high as 45,000 feet. Major Jamil Musa has been flying the C-17 since 2005 and is the operations officer with the 62nd Airlift Wing. He says having a training space in their backyard is very important in preparing crews for every scenario they might face.
Moses Lake is extremely important to national security. Nearby Joint Base Lewis McChord in the Seattle-Tacoma area, where we come from, the 62nd Airlift Wing, and then our partners over at the reserve component, the 446 Airlift Wing, use this airfield virtually every day. So almost every single training mission that launches out of McChord Field will come here, spend a few hours in the pattern, and then the local area flying low levels, conducting airdrops, practicing night vision goggle approaches, basically just about everything that the C-17 can do. So it's incredibly valuable, and that it prepares our crews to go out and fly a myriad of different types of missions.
The C-17 can carry up to 169,000 pounds of cargo. Everything from paratroopers to medical and emergency supplies, vehicles, even helicopters can fit in its belly. Major Musa said despite its bulk, the C-17 is far from awkward in the air.
It's a great aircraft to fly. So it, in the United States Air Force inventory, it's the newest airlifter that we have. It's extremely flexible. It's got all the bells and whistles and the things that we like in the cockpit and also in the business end of the aircraft, the cargo compartment. So we're extremely fortunate to be able to operate this aircraft. And all those things that I mentioned, the avionics and the technology, allows us to minimize the stick and rudder skills so that we can focus on executing a global airlift. So what's neat about the C-17 is it's extremely diverse, and it's used in operations all across the world. For instance, the war in Afghanistan, it's been critical. It's also participated in Iraq and the greater Middle East, countering ISIS. And then a unique mission particular to Joint Base Lewis McChord is the deep freeze mission, or the missions that go down to Antarctica to support the National Science Foundation. So what's neat is sitting here is all the training that we receive here at Moses Lake contributes to being able to fulfill those missions. So Grant County International Airport and the Moses Lake community really contribute to securing American interests abroad.
In Moses Lake, Devin Higgins for iFIBER One News.
It was another successful year at the Ephrata Lions Club Fishing Derby that drew hundreds of kids to Oasis Park in Ephrata. Reporter Joe Utter has the story.
It was an early morning for a few hundred kids on Saturday for the Ephrata Lions Club annual fishing derby. Families began lining the pond at Oasis Park at about 6 a.m. Kids up to 14 years old were able to fish for free, and the pond is stocked with fish each spring prior to the derby. Hundreds of dollars in prizes were given away to kids with the biggest catch. Lions Club President Bill Sangster said the event draws hundreds of participants each year.
We get about 300 to 400 kids every year. Give about $400 worth of prizes. And, we've been doing it since about 1972. The Trout Lodge provides the fish for us. McCleary's Trout Lodge do a wonderful job. They do it every year. It's a beautiful thing. The Department of Fish and Wildlife put fish in here every year. Without that we couldn't have this, but like I said, we love doing it. We've been doing it for a lot of years.
The Lions Club also offered a fundraiser breakfast with money raised going toward the club's sight program, which provides assistance to people who have partial or complete loss of sight. The fishing derby is held on the third Saturday in April every year. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
And now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at crimetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
And we'll be right back after this.